glaciers covered in clouds, short moments of Arctic summer, Vesterålen archipelago fjords, stunning beauty of Lofoten, high mountains rising from the sea, white sun beaches, and suddenly changing weather conditions. Welcome to Extremely Low-Cost Travels, Norway, beyond the Arctic Circle. During this journey, we'll travel over 10,000 kilometers. We'll spend white nights in a tent, or in huts like from a fairy tale. We will admire the most beautiful Norwegian landscapes, unique beauty of nature, and we'll get as far as the North Cape. We'll try to make this expedition as cheap as possible. Will 500 euro per person be enough for a whole month in Scandinavia? Our journey to one of the most expensive countries in the world started in Poland. We drove all the way through Germany and Denmark. We crossed two of the most expensive bridges in the world to enter Sweden. And on the second day of the expedition, we reached the border with Norway. Here we experienced the Dutch Schengen zone, and we visited the COVID testing labyrinth at the border. First vast open spaces we've seen in the area of Hemsedal Valley. Next we drove along the scenic road number 51. Then we got to the famous, breathtaking Route 55 across Sognefjell mountain area and Jotunheimen National Park. Next we drove to see mountain ranges around Langvatnet Lake areas. Finally we drove northeast of Trondheim, and now we're heading towards Arctic Circle. Chapter 9. Goodbye sunny weather. The weather north of Trondheim has changed dramatically. The further north we go, the more grey and rainy the weather becomes. We have to get used to it. This is a typical climate here. Most of the way from Trondheim, we traveled using the longest in Norway, Route E6. Because of cold and humid conditions, we decided to give up spending the night in a tent and to look for an alternative solution. Chapter 10. Unusual ways for free accommodation. We decided to visit a ferry crossing point located far off the beaten track. This way we arrived to Gaisnes. Most ferry crossings in Norway have lounges in the form of small houses. And when you arrive to a ferry crossing in a small village where the traffic is very small, then such a lounge will be at your sole disposal. It's a great solution for cold weather because inside you have central heating and hot water. Time to cook some meal, to watch a ferry arrive, and to go to sleep. There will be no dark nights here in summer. Another beautifully grey day has come. I guess today there won't be many occasions to admire fjords and other landscapes. We can only imagine how beautiful it could be here if the sky was blue, but it isn't. So if there aren't many occasions to stop, then today we'll drive a long distance of about 500 kilometers to the Tonis village. Whenever possible, we are using the local free roads. They are much more interesting. Next stop on our way is the Mo i Rana town. It's the only place in a very remote area where we can buy propane autogas. We are lucky, it's open. Time to go further to today's destination. When we are lucky, we can stop to see some views. When it's raining, we just go ahead. I guess the weather is not going to change. But finally we came to our today's destination, the Tonnes village. Not far away from here there is a little hut which will be our accommodation for tonight. Finally, there it is. We have a fireplace, benches to sleep, and a nice view at Tonnes Bay. It's time to cook some meal, find some wood, and warm up. It's strange to sleep when the world looks like this at midnight. A new day has come. The weather isn't much better, but let's look around. There is a cave nearby. Let's have a look. It's quite big, but not very pretty. The weather is rather bad. Let's go back to the village. The Tonnes village is a typical Norwegian village with very characteristic red houses. It's time for us to go further. Chapter 11. Welcome to the Arctic Circle. We got to the Kilbockham village. From here, a ferry will take us to Jætvik. This is our first ferry in Norway. We don't know how much it will cost us. In Norway, you don't buy tickets for ferries. Your car plate will be recorded and you should wait for a bill to be sent to your home address. This ferry trip is special. With this ferry, we'll cross the Arctic Circle. Arctic Circle is an area where the sun doesn't set for 24 hours at the beginning of calendar summer. An hour has passed and we got to Jætvik. Of course, the weather here is still extremely disappointing. On the way, we'll have one more ferry crossing, from Oxkardet to Kausa. Not far from here, there is a beautiful view spot over the glacier and Gabren in the area of the peak Helgelandsbruken. Even in such a cloudy weather, the view is fantastic. It's almost midnight. In this weather, we don't want to sleep in a tent. Again, the ferry waiting room is a perfect solution for us. The room is heated, we can use electricity, and built-in USB charging devices. And there is also a bathroom with hot water. The only problem is the motion sensor keeping the light on, but we have found a solution to that problem. Chapter 12. Nothing but rain. A new day has come, but the weather still is the same. I really hate this Norwegian weather. Rain and fog are the main attractions. Yesterday we made about 500 kilometers driving north. Since today we have nothing else to do, we will cover another 500 kilometers from Halsa to the vicinity of Sortland. For the whole day nothing has happened. Just rain, rain, and more rain. And finally, the ferry crossing towards Lofoten. Well, we were counting on spectacular views here, but instead we got a chance to stimulate our imagination about how it all would look like in sunny weather. We have arrived to Lodingen. Time to go towards Sortland. This night we'll spend in the south of the island, near the Sandnes village. Here we can find a little hut hidden among the rocks. But before we get here, we'll have to walk for about 1 kilometer. finally we can rest. We're slowly getting used to white nights. Good night. Chapter 13. Vesteron Archipelago and 3 huts to spend nights. Day number 12 of our expedition. It's still wet and foggy. As time goes on, we see bits of blue sky. The hut in which we spent the night looks quite interesting from the outside. But inside it wasn't as comfortable as we expected. Time to make an entry in the guest book and then to go back to our car. Today we'll try to admire the landscapes of the Vesteron Archipelago. First island to visit, Hasselea. Near the village of Breivik, there is a tiny hut we wanted to see. Unfortunately, the path leading to it is marked, which means that many people know about its existence. The hut is situated on the coast and beautifully integrated into the rocks. Here it is. It's very small. The stove is broken, and there is no glass in the window. I guess we have to find another hut for the night. It's a pity, because the views are nice. The other hut is only several kilometers far from here, but to get there, we have to travel a much longer distance. Finally, the weather has changed, revealing the real beauty of Vesteron Islands. Although the Vesteron Archipelago is often presented in advertising brochures as a beautiful and sunny land, it must be remembered that it is a land with a relatively cool maritime climate. Sunny moments are rare, so let's take advantage of these moments while we can. The landscape of the Vesteron is mountainous, but mountains have a more rounded shape compared to those in the Lofoten. And the good weather is over. We had about 1 hour of sunny conditions. We're going now straight to our tonight's destination. Yeah, this is the place. A hut suspended on a rock wall. Let's see what comforts await us in it. There is a stove adapted from a boiler or some kind, bare rock as a wall, some kind of table, and a nice view of the Norwegian sea bay. And we're going to have a midsummer Christmas, because we found some Christmas decorations. Finally, warm and pleasant. I have to ensure a good atmosphere in this hut. Luckily, we have a lot of candles here. The midnight has come. Time to go to sleep. Chapter 13. Lofoten. The next day, the neighborhood is as grey as usual, but weather forecast says that tomorrow there won't be a single cloud in the sky. So let's go to one of the most beautiful places in Norway, the Lofoten Islands. On the way I found a special offer for fast food, hot dog for less than €2. Incredibly cheap for Norwegian standards. This is the first food we bought in Norway since the beginning of our expedition. Time to go further. We are already somewhere in the Lofoten. It's time to go hiking in the mountains. I'm taking my dad's backpack. I can handle that. Okay, maybe I'll take my own. Today we're trying to get to an extraordinary hut. No, this is not the one. This hut is only suitable for emergency overnight stays. There is no stove here, so it would be very cold to stay here. We've got to go further. Today we need to get to a beautiful dugout house. But it's a long way from here. At least a clear path leads us there. But soon the path will end. And now it's getting more and more swampy. The weather isn't getting better. This is not how I imagined the Lofoten landscapes. And these are the typical forests of Lofoten. Dwarf birch trees, not much bigger than me. In some places even much smaller. But there are plenty of mushrooms here. We'll fry them for dinner. I'm not tired, not at all. Let's go further. How nice it would look if the sun was shining. Our path has disappeared. We have to find our hut using GPS coordinates. Finally, we found some path. Are we there yet?
No.
Are we there yet?
No.
Are we there yet?
Yes. Just kidding. No.
Are we... Oh my, is this a house? Wow, incredible. Such a beautiful hut in the middle of nowhere. I love it. We have plenty of stuff here. Even a fire extinguisher and the fishing rod. But how does it work? It's getting late, but night will not fall at all this time of year. Time to go to sleep. Chapter 15, Lofoten, 2 days of summer. Good morning! Finally we have a beautiful day. The weather forecast proved correct. We'll have 2 days of summer until dark clouds cover this land again. Let's have a look around. The visibility is incredibly good today. The only remnants of yesterday's weather are the fogs lingering in the valleys. You can feel real summer here when the weather is sunny. Real field temperature is now about 25 degrees centigrade. Currently, we are in the central part of Lofoten Islands, in a place where tourists practically don't go, so we can enjoy the undisturbed peace and views that cannot be found on any typical postcard from Lofoten. To better experience the beauty of archipelago, it's good to see the Lofoten from the bird's eye view. Lofoten consists of 5 main mountainous islands, stretching over a distance of over 170 kilometers in the Norwegian Sea. In addition, there are many small islands, rocky islets and reefs. The islands are composed of volcanic rocks, gneiss and granite. The presence of the warm North Atlantic Current and the Norwegian Current in the waters surrounding the archipelago results in the warmest winters in the world at this latitude. But summer temperatures are relatively cool. It's time for us to go back to our car and to visit other places while the weather is still nice. Hot and sunny conditions have some disadvantages here. A plague of intruding flies. They are very irritating, so better let's go. Virgin areas of Lofoten are the place for grazing livestock. this peak we can see the village where we left the car. It will take 1 more hour to get there. And this is the first hut we passed yesterday on the way to the dugout hut. The last look at the surrounding neighborhood, and we are back at our car. Our plan for the rest of the day is to get to Kvalvika beach, located near Frevang village. We came across a nice beach on the way. White sand and green mountains in the background rising from the sea. It's a well-known Skagsanden beach. It's located next to the main Lofoten-Itein road. Its easy accessibility makes it quite crowded, so I guess we won't stay here for long. But first I'm gonna go for a swim. Or maybe not. It's freezing cold. Let's go further. We arrived at the parking place next to the Frevang village. Time for the traditional Norwegian dinner. And let's go across the mountains to the other side of the island. The distance from the parking to the Kvalvika beach isn't long, a little bit more than 2 kilometers. And the altitude to overcome is about 200 meters. But it's worth the effort for such a views and almost empty beach. I hope we won't be late for the sunset. We made it just on time. Beyond the Arctic Circle, the sunset can last much longer than I thought. And the tide begins. Soon the beach will be under the water. The sun needed about 1 more hour to set behind the horizon. Because the weather is so great, we decided not to look for free huts to stay, but we slept under the tent in this beautiful natural environment. Good morning! I guess we have a second day of sunny summer. It's time to look around and find out if Kvalvika beach is as beautiful as it is described in the internet. It certainly is one of the most popular beaches in all of Lofoten. But thanks to COVID pandemic, we're almost alone here. The beach is located in an isolated bay on the northern side of Moskenesoja Island. The isolation from the rest of the islands is one of the things that make this beach so special. Here turquoise waves crash on golden sands, and almost vertical cliffs rise into the sky in a display of Lofoten at its best. The beach faces the vast open Norwegian Sea and over 600-meter high mountains surrounding it make an amazing impression. You can feel like you are at the edge of the world. I have found here a really nice playground. This is probably the most beautiful place to swing I have ever seen. The last look at the place that seems to be on the edge of the world, and it's time to go further to see other places in Lofoten. On our way back, we chose a different path leading towards Bergland. Suddenly we saw low altitude clouds. This is a bad sign. This means that sunny weather in Lofoten ends for good. We can only watch as more and more clouds climb from the sea to the islands. The magical landscapes of Lofoten are gone in a moment. For the rest of the day, we decided to visit the most northern tip of Moskenesolia Island. The weather is rather bad. Although the highest peaks are still able to stop the clouds from flowing in. The sandy beach isn't as beautiful as previous ones, but the weather influences the perception too. Let's go to the northern tip of the island. This area is used for grazing sheep. Conditions have changed and the weather forecast isn't optimistic at all. 2-day summer in Lofoten is over for us. Time to head further north. In the islands further to the east, conditions have yet to change. Let's go and let's enjoy the last sunny moments in Lofoten. We're planning to spend the night in the ferry waiting room, but there is a surprise. It's closed. I guess we have to spend the night closer to the nature. The next days we will spend discovering the northernmost corners of mainland Norway. Is it possible to spend nights for free there? Are the weather conditions hard there? You'll find it out in the next episode of Extremely Locust Travels Norway. In the next episode we're going to show you the amazing scenery of the fjords beyond the Arctic Circle. Great wild spaces with countless lakes and rivers. Fantastic sunsets lasting for hours. The most northern parts of mainland Norway, reaching the Barents Sea. And of course the ways to get 3 nights beyond the Arctic Circle.